One of the things that's really important to think about with your business is actually what are some of the external factors that influence and affect how your business will operate. And it's one of those key building blocks you need to think about. Now, to do that, the technique is one technique to use is called the Pestel analysis.
And those has different aspects, and Pestel stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. Now, all those different aspects have elements that affect your business. So the political factors may be legislation. So if you're linked into social care or nurseries, any change in the government policy could have an impact on your business.
And obviously the economic factors is all about the nature of the economy, what's happening to the wider economy, and the nature of your particular sector, because each sector is different in terms of its competitive forces which exist within it.
Social factors are things like in the society and the changes. So recently, the change in communications and the speed through social media and things like that. The youth having different aspirations and ideas than maybe older generations. All those social factors impact on your business as well.
And we all know how technology can fundamentally change how we do things. We only have to look at the last 10 years and the introduction of the smartphone to see what impact that can have quite markedly on a company like Nokia that was dominant in the telecommunications market and has now disappeared into Microsoft.
And of course, environmental factors and the global warming or technological aspects in terms of environmental change, all those things have pressures on that. So for example, oil companies abandoning searching for oil in sensitive environmental areas because of pressure from their stakeholders, but also from the consumer as well. So those factors you have to be aware of.
So what we have here is a Pestel analysis canvas. And what it allows you to do within your team, and it's always important to think about this as a team, is to simply start to note down all the different factors which actually influence your business and how they can impact on your business, so you can factor that into your thought process going forwards.
So the key aspect about thinking about that is how that continuous dialogue with your teams and picking up those little different factors, because any strategy isn't standalone. You don't do your strategy and wait and say that's done. It's actually an ongoing, living, breathing document, and therefore, coming back to the why, when you're looking at those different factors affecting your business, you need to keep abreast of all those changes and the things going on in the marketplace.
Now, one of the most important business thinkers has been Michael Porter over a number of years. He was voted in 2016 the most influential business thinker by Thinkers 50 in London. So one of his most famous tools that he uses is the 5 forces.
Now the 5 forces have different aspects, but one of the key ones is the threat of new entries. Of course, if you're a business you have potential people coming in and taking your market share. It may be a new product, it may be the same product designed to a different spec or whatever it might be, but the threat of new entries is one of the key factors that you need to be aware of.
And secondly, there's the power of both suppliers and buyers, and actually affecting that is critical. In terms of the supplier side, is thinking about how important or how critical are some of the things that you get from your supply chain. So if you're looking at gold and diamonds, clearly there's a real big factor of rarity involved in that. So the power of the supplier is critical, and equally the power of the buyer is really important to think about your future profitability. So if we look at the supermarkets are drilled down by the big supermarkets who really force down the supplier prices. So their buying power is critical, and that adversely affects your ability to develop a profitable business.
And of course, the threat of substitution, i.e. something else comes along and replaces your product, or your consumers are saying, actually, I can do this in a different way. So for example, Netflix coming online versus Blockbuster's home videos. So rather than going to the shop, people can then downstream it and bring it down. It makes it easier for the customer, and it means that there's a threat of substitution to that business.
And so what we have is a canvas that looks at Porter's 5 forces. Again, is designed to be done collectively by a team, which is to actually think about all the different factors from a supplier, buyer, threat of entry, and substitution, as to how that can affect your business and things you need to factor into your business strategy.